Hello and welcome back to the Calculator Review, hosted on Caliquin.com. Today I've got something a little special. This is a Chinese Suanpan. I apologize if I don't know how to pronounce that. Suanpan Abacus. This is one of the. This is the same design that was used for the very first Abacus that were released in Japan. Unfortunately, I don't know a whole lot about this one in particular. There is a little bit of information on the back. It says made in Hong Kong, number 2202, and there's a little logo. Doesn't really show up, but it's sort of like a sun with an NW in it. I looked all around trying to find out who made this, but unfortunately I wasn't able to figure that out. So I don't know what year this thing was produced or any of the history behind it, but I do suspect that it's fairly old because it's got some pretty yellowed plastic. There's a lot of scuffs and dents on it. It looks like it's been used, or at least kept, for a very long time. If you saw my review of the Suanpan Abacus, then you'd have a pretty good idea of how an abacus works. But what makes this one different is there is no button to reset it, so you got to do it manually. So this is actually capable of calculating up to 99 billion. So here are the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions, billions, 10 billions. So if this is up here, then that is 99 billion right there. Oh, no, actually, I guess that goes up to 100 billion because there are 5 here. So that's kind of neat. So if everything is up, then this would be, I guess that would just be 100 billion. I'm not entirely sure, but anyway, I don't really want to get too into how to perform calculations with an abacus, but I will explain the basics of how to represent numbers. This one's slightly different because, as I just pointed out, there are 5 instead of 4. Just to make things simple, this right here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that's still 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that right there, well, that or that would represent 10, or that. So it's a pretty easy thing to use. And you just use that same method across the entire thing, and there's really no point in going too far into that. So let's say I wanted to write the number 7,832. So we put 5 up here, 2, 5 up here, 3, 32. So that right there is 7,832. And I really like the abacus. This is one of the most interesting things, because this could be considered one of the first computers, unless you count that Greek device that they found pieces of. I believe that dates like 500 BC, or some really ancient time, but little's known about that, but lots known about the abacus. As far as this one goes, it's not the most spectacular one. I definitely prefer my Japanese Suanpan abacus, but I like having one of the authentic Chinese ones. I do wish I had one made of wood, because wood just gives it more of that natural and ancient look, I guess. Whereas plastic, this is just a utility device. This isn't meant to be amazing or stand out in any way. It's not going to look all that unique, but it's a really cool device to have in my collection. I really like the colors that they used, and I like the fact that hundreds and will it be hundreds, thousands? Yeah, so every hundreds, so 100, 100,000, and 100 million is very easy to identify thanks to the differentiating colors. So yeah, this is everything works really nice. Everything slides really smoothly. I have to say I do prefer the Japanese Suanpan, simply because there's only one way to represent each number, whereas with this one there's in some cases two or three ways of representing the same number, such as that being 5, that being 5, that being this being 10. Wait, no, that being 10, or that being 10. There's just too many different ways to represent the same number, which can make it a little more confusing to use than the Suanpan. The Suanpan only uses 4 of these, so that creates only one possible way. And also, oh, never mind. But yeah, I'd like to get the abacus from other cultures. I've seen pictures of the Roman abacus. The Greeks have their own. There's like a Turkish one. I mean, there's a lot of variations on this, and some of which I could probably assemble myself, because there's one in particular that just uses string and knots, and that'd be kind of cool to take a look at and see how simple that would be to use. I've got a bunch of 550 cord that I could use to make that. But for now, yeah, the Chinese abacus is very cool. I know I've been like kind of wishy-washy on this review, but I'm more excited by the fact that I have this than anything. Like, I'm not really excited to use it or really to talk about it. I like the look of it and I like having it, but there are a lot of things I would change about it. I just feel like the Suanpan is just so much more well designed and so much more thought was put into it. But I mean, that came out hundreds of years later than the original Chinese abacus. So innovations in calculators definitely made a difference. So yeah, that's I apologize that I don't know the actual pronunciation of Suanpan. I think I've got that right, but it'll be written in the title of this video. I couldn't find a really accurate or really easy way to learn how to pronounce that word, sadly. So if it's horribly wrong, please let me know. Otherwise, have a wonderful week. Take care. Bye.